In the shadow of China's Cultural Revolution, on September 10th, 1964, a boy named Ma Yun was born in Hangzhou, a modest city far from the power centers of Beijing or Shanghai. His family wasn't elite. His parents were musicians in a traditional Chinese opera troupe, scraping by in a nation rebuilding from chaos. Young Jack, as he'd later call himself, was small, scrawny, and unremarkable. But beneath that exterior burned a fire that no rejection could extinguish. From the start, Jack faced systemic barriers. China's education system was a meat grinder, emphasizing rote memorization and cutthroat exams. Jack failed his primary school exams twice, bombing the middle school entrance test once. But here's the root cause insight. Most people crumble under failure, rationalizing excuses like, the system's rigged. Jack, he doubled down on leverage points, self-improvement, and unconventional paths. By high school, his obsession with English set him apart. In 1972, when President Nixon visited Hangzhou, it sparked a tourism boom. Jack, just 12, biked 40 minutes daily to the Westlake hotels, offering free tours to foreigners in exchange for English lessons. No apps, no tutors, just raw execution. He practiced relentlessly, absorbing not just language but Western mindsets on innovation and risk. College was another gauntlet. Jack failed the Zhaokao, the National University Entrance Exam, twice. On his third try in 1984, he scraped into Hangzhou Teachers College, the lowest-tier option. Graduating in 1988 with a degree in English, he applied to 30 jobs, rejected from all, including the police and a secretary role at KFC, where he was the only one of 24 applicants turned down. Brutal truth. Rejection exposes your gaps. Jack didn't whine. He pivoted to teaching English at a local university for $12 a month. This era forged Jack's psychology. Failure as fuel. He married Zhang Ying, a classmate who saw his potential, and they built a life on grit. By the early 90s, Jack started translation side hustles, even founding the Haibo translation agency. It flopped initially, but he iterated hustling to sell flowers, books, anything to survive. Systems thinking kicked in. Identify pain points, like China's isolation from global trade, and attack them. In 1992, a trip to the US as a translator opened his eyes to capitalism's velocity. But back home, economic reforms under Deng Xiaoping were cracking open doors. Jack's blind spot? He was still small time. The real pivot loomed. The internet. A leverage multiplier he hadn't yet grasped. Jack Ma's early years weren't about innate genius. They were a war on complacency. He turned excuses into execution frameworks, proving that high IQ strategy means nothing without relentless action. As we move to his digital awakening, remember, your rejections are your rocket fuel if you stop rationalizing and start building. By 1995, Jack Ma was 31, still grinding as an English teacher and small-time entrepreneur. China was modernizing, but the internet was alien. Fewer than 100,000 users nationwide. Jack's first encounter? A business trip to Seattle as a translator for a highway project. In a friend's office, he typed beer into a search engine. Results poured in from everywhere except China. No data. This wasn't a glitch. It was an opportunity supernova. He created China's first webpage that night for his translation agency. It garnered inquiries from around the world by morning. Mind blown, Jack returned to Hangzhou with a mission: bridge China to the global digital economy. But execution hurdles loomed. China's internet was embryonic, censored, and expensive. Quitting his job, Jack founded China Pages, one of the country's first internet companies, with $2,000 scraped together. It aimed to build websites for businesses. Early win, a contract with the government. But competition crushed it. State-backed players like China Telecom muscled in. By 1997, Jack folded, taking a job at the Ministry of Foreign Trade in Beijing. Lesson in leverage. Sometimes strategic retreat builds intel for the big swing. In Beijing, Jack observed e-commerce's potential firsthand. Frustrated by bureaucracy, he quit in 1999 and rallied 17 friends in his Hangzhou apartment. With $60,000 pooled, they launched Alibaba.com, a B2B platform connecting Chinese manufacturers to global buyers. Name inspired by Open Sesame. Unlocking treasures. No fancy office, just a cramped flat. Coding on cheap PCs, eating instant noodles. The vision? Empower small businesses. The underdogs Jack identified with. Root cause analysis. SMEs lacked global reach due to trade barriers and info asymmetry. Alibaba's framework? Free listings to hook users, then monetize via premiums, but launch timing sucked. The dot-com bubble burst, investors fled. Jack pitched 30 VCs, all rejected. He bootstrapped, focusing on user value over hype. By 2000, traction built. A $5 million investment from Goldman Sachs, then $20 million from SoftBank's Masayoshi Son, who bet on Jack's charisma after a 6-minute pitch. Son saw the psychology. Jack's storytelling sold visions, not just products. Alibaba survived SARS in 2003 by going remote, proving digital resilience. Jack's strategy? Think systems, not silos. He hired globally minded talent, instilled a customer-first culture, and used wacky team building like handstands to foster innovation. Blind spot call-out? Many founders chase quick wins. Jack played long-game leverage, turning China's manufacturing might into e-commerce gold. As Alibaba grew, Jack eyed consumer markets. The stage was set for Taobao, a C2C juggernaut to battle eBay. But that's next. For now, absorb this. Digital disruption starts with spotting gaps others ignore. Jack didn't invent the internet, he executed on its untapped leverage in China. eBay dominated China with 90% market share, backed by billions. Jack's response? Guerrilla warfare. Taobao launched free, undercutting eBay's fees. Slogan? No charge until you make money. Psychological hack. Lower barriers to entry, hook users fast. eBay blocked Taobao ads. Jack pivoted to forums and chat rooms. Organic virality. He even dressed as a punk rocker at company events to boost morale. Result? By 2005, Taobao overtook eBay, forcing their exit from China. Leverage point. Understand local culture. Chinese users preferred chat-integrated shopping, which Taobao nailed. Alibaba's ecosystem expanded. Alipay in 2004 solved trust issues in a cash-only society. Escrow services built confidence. When banks balked, Jack quipped, "If banks don't change, we'll change the banks." Ant Financial spun off, becoming a fintech behemoth. Systems thinking, integrate payments to own the full value chain. Challenges mounted. 2008 global crisis hit exports hard. Alibaba's revenue dipped. Jack cut costs, focused on domestic markets. Then, fraud scandals. Fake goods on Taobao eroded trust. He purged 2,000 suppliers invested in AI detection. Execution framework. Root out cancers early, or they metastasize. By 2010, Alibaba was China's e-commerce king, with Tmall for premium brands. Revenue soared to billions. Jack's strategy? Be like a crocodile in the Yangtze. Patient, then strike. He globalized, partnering with Yahoo, who invested $1 billion in 2005. Internally, Jack built a cult-like culture. Iron triangle of buyers, sellers, platform. He promoted 966 work ethic, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, pushing execution to extremes. Critics called it exploitative, but it drove hyper-growth. Psychology insight. High standards forge winners but burn blind spots like work-life imbalance. Jack's public persona exploded. TED Talks, Davos panels. He preached customers first, employees second, shareholders third. But shadows loomed. Government scrutiny over monopoly power. Alibaba's IPO prep intensified. Valued at $150 billion, it was set to shatter records. Jack had transformed an apartment startup into a $200 billion empire. September 19, 2014. Alibaba's IPO on the NYSE raised $25 billion, the largest ever. Jack Ma, in a leather jacket, rang the bell as shares surged 38%. Valuation hit $231 billion. From reject to richest man in China, net worth $30 billion. Post-IPO, expansion accelerated. Cloud computing, entertainment, Alibaba Pictures, logistics, Cainiao. Acquisitions like Youku, China's YouTube, built a media empire. Globally, Jack pushed Belt and Road, Digital Silk Road, investing in Southeast Asia, Africa. Strategy. Leverage China's scale for worldwide dominance. Philanthropy ramped up. Jack founded the Jack Ma Foundation in 2014, focusing on education, environment, entrepreneurship. He donated billions teaching rural teachers via Rural Teacher Initiative. Psychological shift from builder to giver, addressing root causes like inequality. But controversies brewed. Blind spot. Pushing too hard ignores human limits, breeding resentment. Then, fintech dominance. Ant Group's $300 billion valuation threatened banks. The hammer fell in 2020. Jack criticized China's regulators at a Shanghai summit. Old people regulating new things. Days later, Ant's $37 billion IPO, world's largest, halted. Alibaba fined $2.8 billion for antitrust. Jack vanished for months amid rumors of government crackdown. Root cause. In authoritarian systems, bold talk invites peril. Jack's error? Underestimating political leverage. By 2021, Alibaba restructured. Jack stepped back further. Shares tanked 75% from peaks. Yet resilience shone. Company adapted, focusing on core e-commerce amid COVID boom. Jack's story here? Peaks demand vigilance. He built an ecosystem touching 1 billion users, but overreach nearly toppled it. Leverage wisely or lose it all. On his 55th birthday in 2019, Jack Ma retired as Alibaba's executive chairman, passing the baton to Daniel Zhang. Dressed as a rock star, he performed at a stadium farewell, symbolizing his flair. But retirement wasn't quiet. Post-2020 crackdown, Jack resurfaced in 2023, teaching in Tokyo, focusing on agriculture, education, legacy. Alibaba's $500 billion market cap, employing millions, transforming China into e-commerce superpower. Taobao/Alipay revolutionized daily life. Cashless society, instant delivery, globally inspired entrepreneurs. If Jack can, so can I. Critics point to monopolies, worker strain, government ties. Jack's response? Evolve. In 2024 to 2025, he advocated sustainable tech, AI ethics, amid U.S.-China tensions. Philanthropy endures, funding African startups, environmental projects. Jack's frameworks: embrace change, fail fast, learn faster. Psychology: optimism as weapon against adversity. Systems view: build ecosystems, not empires. As of 2025, Jack lives semi-reclusively, but influence persists. Alibaba thrives. Ant rebounds. Hard truth: legacies aren't endpoints, they're ongoing executions. Jack Ma didn't just succeed, he redefined possibility. No longer the flamboyant showman ringing NYSE bells or delivering fiery speeches, Ma has emerged from his self-imposed exile as a quieter force, focusing on root causes like education, sustainability, and global equity. This isn't retirement. It's strategic repositioning in a world where Beijing's grip on tech titans remains ironclad. Early 2025 marked Ma's tentative return to the spotlight. After largely vanishing post-2020 regulatory crackdown, he resurfaced in Beijing, hosted by Xi alongside other tycoons. Analysts speculate this signals a thaw in Beijing's tech policy, with Ma's Alibaba now aligned tightly with national priorities like AI self-sufficiency and cloud infrastructure. Foreign policy notes that while Ma is back, control rests firmly with the state. Alibaba's future tethered to China's push for technological independence amid global tensions. Shares surged on the news, but Ma himself stayed low-key, avoiding the bravado that once defined him. Philanthropy has become Ma's primary leverage point. Recognized in Time's 2025 philanthropy list, his Jack Ma Foundation, founded in 2014, continues to pour billions into education, entrepreneurship, environmental protection, women's leadership, and medical initiatives. In May, Ma visited Alibaba's Hangzhou headquarters during Ali Day celebrations, touring a replica of his original apartment and sparking nostalgia among employees. It was a symbolic nod to humble beginnings, also a reminder of his enduring influence, albeit from the sidelines. Reports place Ma frequently in Tokyo, where he's taken up roles as a visiting professor, delving into sustainable agriculture and AI ethics. Billionaire sightings in Japan highlight his focus on farming innovation, perhaps inspired by post-crackdown reflections on food security and environmental sustainability. He's been spotted in Spain and Thailand too, pursuing painting and personal ventures. A far cry from boardroom battles, this global nomadism isn't escape, it's systems-level thinking, addressing root causes like rural education gaps and climate resilience that tech alone can't solve. Ant Group finalized removing Ma's control in mid-2025 per Hong Kong media, marking the end of his direct financial empire. Instead, he's channeling energy into advocacy, speaking on abundance mindsets and life advice via resurfaced videos, urging youth to embrace change amid AI disruptions. Looking ahead, Ma's future orbits high-impact, low-visibility arenas. By 2030, expect deeper dives into agritech, leveraging Alibaba's AI for sustainable farming amid climate crises. Philanthropy will scale, more women's leadership programs and environmental tech investments, potentially partnering with global entities like the UN. Politically incorrect truth: Ma won't reclaim his throne. Beijing's model ensures tycoons serve the system, not vice versa. But his legacy evolves, from e-commerce disruptor to global steward, inspiring entrepreneurs to think beyond billions. Blind spots exposed. Many see Ma's quietude as defeat, but it's mastery, identifying leverage in influence, not ownership. His journey reminds us true power lies in adaptation, not domination. As China's tech landscape matures, Ma's role may inspire a new generation to balance ambition with humility.